What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys another VGC Battle Spot replay, leading off against Mega Aerodactyl this game. My opponent is using Mega Aerodactyl, Staraptor, Aegislash, and a Hippowdon, and let me just say, I really don't like fighting against Hippowdon. I really wish that was a Tyranitar, because Hippowdon is super bulky. It also gets access to like recovery moves like Slack Off, so I really dislike fighting these things. We're going to be using no Mega actually today. We're using Cresselia, Sableye, Landers, and Aegislash, opting to just try and pick up KOs and play a really wally game. Looking at my opponent's whole team, they all eat the Will-O-Wisp really hard, so if I can put the Will-O-Wisp up, put up some wide guards, and a couple Earthquakes, I should be able to take this game. So without further ado, we're hopping right into it, and we're going to start this up, and hopefully we can show you guys some really cool plays with a super bulky Mega Aerodactyl as well as Hippowdon. So leading off Cresselia Sableye, this is a lead I like to do when I like to play the long game. Like I said, multiple burns, skill swaps, icy winds. We're seeing my opponent lead with two flying Pokemon, the Staraptor and the Aerodactyl. Remember, Aerodactyl can Mega Evolve here, so starting things off, we're going to see a Staraptor withdraw, not really wanting to eat any of the moves from any of these Pokemon, going straight into Aegislash, and we're going to see Aerodactyl, like I said, Mega Evolve. I think he gains that, he gains a move it's like Strong Jaw or Tough Claws or something. It makes his moves that do contact deal 1.3 more, so it's really good for like Skydrop and other moves like that he already gets, and he gets a ton of bulk. So while this Pokemon isn't super commonly used, I wouldn't actually say it's terrible, because I still think Sash Aerodactyl's better, but this thing looks really cool, and it's really awesome to see a Mega Aerodactyl at a relatively high level of VGC. So he's deciding to switch right out into the Hippowdon or Hippopotamus Pokemon or whatever. I think that's called Hippowdon, right? It's not. Oh, whatever. This guy's probably from another country. So we're just going to see me open up with a Will-O-Wisp. Got to get Will-O-Wisp on Aegislash as soon as possible. You know, that is the way I usually like to deal with them. And we're going to pop a second Icy Wind, and look how bulky that Hippowdon is. It takes like no damage from my Icy Wind. I get the speed drop, but it's not really going to matter that much in this sort of situation. We're then going to see my opposing Aegislash go for a stance, go into that blade form, pop a stabbed Shadow Ball right off into my Sableye slot. Not really picking up the KO, because it's not super effective, because Sableye does have that dark typing, but certainly chunking it for quite a bit. So that's one burn, and I do know that I need to save my Sableye for this game. I need to be able to wall this guy out. If I put burns on all four of his Pokemon and just pop recovers, I should be able to wall this guy out. So we're switching off, going into Landers here. Just because Landers has a lot more field presence than Cresselia does at this point in the game. We're going to see my opponent go for the very predictable stance, going into that defensive, going for the King Shield here. Remember, he is ticking out from burns, so I do feel like this is definitely in my favor while I pop a recover, going back up to near full HP. So pretty good stuff so far. We see a Facade coming out from the Hippowdon onto my Landers slot. So the Intimidate was pretty much negated by the critical hit there, but he was definitely expecting that Will-O-Wisp. So I gotta watch out for that for future points in the game. Because like Facade, I think it does double damage and it ignores your burn. So really cool to see Facade on a Hippowdon. And judging by the crit, like he probably has some investment in attack, but not that much. So we see my opponent switch back in with their Staraptor. I miss a Will-O-Wisp this turn on the Hippowdon, and my Earthquake is actually just going to be hitting my Sableye. So chunking my Sableye for quite a bit, but we're going to see him miss an Ice Fang. And you may think that, oh man, I'm so lucky he missed Ice Fang. It actually wouldn't have done that much, and I missed a Will-O-Wisp on it to start the turn off. So I think everything was completely fair that turn. Now we finally get a Will-O-Wisp off on the Staraptor slot. That's two down. Two Pokemon have now been burned. We're going to see him go for a U-turn. This is hitting for neutral damage on Sableye. It's actually not going to be able to pick up a KO. So Sableye, so far, lives to fight another day. And he goes back in with his Aegislash here, as my Landers goes for a U-turn of his own, targeting the Hippowdon slot. Chunking it for a ton with a critical hit of my own. That's super important for this matchup. Like I said, Hippowdon is super bulky, and I just hate trying to get rid of those guys off the board. So he goes for another Ice Fang. It's going to hit on the now Cresselia slot, and it's not really going to do all that much. So we're going to see Sandstorm tick on both my Pokemon, and like I said, I have burned a good amount of his Pokemon. I've burned Aegislash, I've burned Staraptor. If I can burn these next two, I can just pretty much wall them out. So Sableye's going to pop a recover. I'm expecting the potential nuke onto the Sableye slot this turn. We're going to see if I can live through it. We're then going to go for a Psychic off onto the Hippowdon slot, just trying to get some damage. Hopefully we don't see any Slack offs or anything like that come in. So we're going to see him go Stance Dance into Blade form, popping a Shadow Ball, and he's actually going to target the Cresselia slot. Remember, that is super effective on Cresselia, but it's going to leave me at just enough HP to activate my Citrus Berry, restoring 30% of my HP and putting me back up into the yellow. So then we're going to see my opponent. I think this is definitely a misplay here. He goes for the Bulldoze, and I just don't know what he was really thinking. He's going to chunk his Aegislash down. That thing's going to take out from burn. Sableye lives, Cresselia lives, and everyone, well, I'm happy. I was going to say everyone's happy, but he's definitely probably not that happy. Maybe he was trying to clear his Aegislash out, or like proc its own weakness policy. He was probably trying to proc the weakness policy and nuke the Cresselia. That must have been what he was going for. But it actually didn't pay out for him. We're going to see Staraptor come in. Remember, this thing is already burned, so it's not going to be able to be doing that much in the situation. Yeah, he's going to withdraw Hippowdon, going out into his Aerodactyl here. Finally, Aerodactyl makes an appearance. And I'm going to go for the Quash play onto the Staraptor, delaying its move until the end of the turn, and I'm going to go for a Moonlight. The reason being, I didn't want him to pick up a KO on my Cresselia. I mean, if he wants to pick up KOs on Aegislash at this point, or sorry, Sableye at this point, he can go for it, but I wanted Cresselia to be able to live. I think Cresselia is much more important now that the Aegislash is off the board. So he actually goes for the pickup KO onto my Sableye. Sableye's not going to get that 4 burn that I really wanted, but I definitely think it should, it definitely did its job, and now the real power Pokemon can start coming in. So Landorus is going to come back out, get a great Intimidate off onto these 2 physical attackers, and being paired with a Cresselia means like a Rock Slide Icy Wind has a % chance to pick up a double KO. So we're going to see my opponent switch out, go back into Hippowdon, start up the Sandstorm again. It's going to give Aerodactyl that nice bulk from the effective Sandstorm, raising the special defense of all Rock and Ground type Pokemon. So Landorus is going to switch out, opting not to fight this board. I don't really have to. I didn't want to eat an Ice Fang from Aerodactyl. I just wanted to check, and we actually checked the Protect. So not the best turn, but it's going to be getting potential free damage off on here. Going to go onto the Protect, or I'm not going to get any damage, sorry. I was going to talk about missing on the Aerodactyl, actually missing on the Hippowdon as well. We're going to see Aerodactyl switch out, going into Staraptor this turn. So pretty good stuff. Getting a pretty useless Intimidate, but I mean, Staraptor has been pretty underwhelming this whole game. It managed to pick up a KO on Sableye, but that's about it. We're going to pop a King Shield. I'm being super safe. I do not want to risk that Aerodactyl doing anything to me. I go for an Icy Wind, going to hit on both of these guys, picking up a KO on the Hippowdon and making the Staraptor slowed. I think I should be faster now with my Cresselia, but depends on what item he's holding. We don't really know yet. So Staraptor's going to get buffeted, and he's also going to take that burn damage. So I think I should be able to wrap this one up relatively soon, depending on how the Aerodactyl plays. But we already know that my Aegislash has a super effective move, my Cresselia has a super effective move. This guy's going to need to make some plays if he wants to come back in this game. So we see my opponent go for the Sky Drop. That's a stabbed move. It takes me into the air for a turn, pretty much takes me off the board, as we see a Giga Impact come out from Staraptor. If he wasn't burned, that would have done so much damage. I actually live just fine and go for an Icy Wind, picking up the KO on the Staraptor. Pretty good stuff, and let's see how Aerodactyl can do. It's Aerodactyl versus the world, and it's actually going to show quite a bit of bulk. So Aerodactyl's going to use Sky Drop. It's going to do a decent amount of damage to my Aegislash here. Judging, it's not very effective, so it's more than you would actually expect. I'm gonna go for a Psychic. I actually just want to hit. I could have went for the Icy Wind, but I just want to hit damage. I think Psychic plus Flash Cannon should be able to take this guy out. So I'll go for the Flash Cannon. Remember, this is super effective stabbed on this guy, and it's actually still not going to be able to KO thanks to the special D boost from the Sandstorm. So showing just how bulky Aerodactyl is, and that's where my opponent decides to run. Pretty good, very long game against a very unique team that used Hippowdon and Aerodactyl. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this battle, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.